What's going on, guys? Chris here with Tactical Outdoorsman, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Timberwolf Frame version 2 from Lonewolf, so stick around. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. The year is 2020. This is my first video going into the new year. You guys may have noticed I haven't uploaded anything in the past few weeks since before Christmas. I got sick, as you can tell in my voice. I have still a little bit of an upper respiratory infection. I'm kind of on the tail end of that. But I have some products backing up that I need to get reviews out on, and next week is SHOT Show. I'm going to be heading out there, so I wanted to squeak in another review before I got involved in that. So what we're going to be taking a look at today is the second version of the Timberwolf Frame by Lonewolf. This version is the compact version. It's the TWC-C, so stands for Timberwolf Compact/Compact, meaning compact grip frame and a compact size slide. So they do have a TWC-F, and that's going to be a compact frame with a full-size slide. They have a TWF-F, which is a full-size frame, full-size slide, and a TWF-C, which is a full-size frame and a compact slide. So a bunch of different variations. We'll just going to go over this one on the tabletop review specifically. The reason I have this is because I own a Glock 19. I have a Gen 3 and a Gen 4, so I want to see how the slides fit on here, and I want to take a look at all the different upgrades on this over the first version and over an OEM Glock frame. So let's go down to a tabletop review and take a look at all this stuff. Alright, guys, here we are. So here's what we're taking a look at today. This is the Timberwolf Frame from Lonewolf. This is the compact version, so for my Glock 19 slides. So one of the unique things about this slide is it will allow you to put on a Gen 3 and a Gen 4 slide. So it has the adapter here, which is basically a dust cover adapter, which will drop right in here and snap in. And when this is inserted, it'll allow you to put on the Gen 3 slide, and it will fill the space around the bottom of the slide there. When you remove it, it'll allow you enough clearance to get your Gen 4 slide on here with the proper amount of clearance in the front. So that I thought was a really cool feature, being that I have a Gen 3 and a Gen 4 slide, to be able to just use this one frame for both of them, should I want to. One of the other things that they changed about this is the Gen 1, or the version 1 I should say, had finger grooves. On this version they took the finger grooves off, and they just have a little bit of texturing on here. On the sides they have a checkered texturing, similar to what you would find on a OEM Gen 4 Glock, I believe. And then they also have that on the back here. This does come with another back strap. This is the flat back strap, and then they have a large back strap that comes with it. I like the flat. My hands are not that big. I have like a medium-sized hand, and this flat back works good for me. These frames do come with a magwell on it. This can be removed if you don't want it, but from the factory it comes with this installed. They do have the undercut here, so you can get a good grip and not destroy your knuckle. And just like the first version of this slide, they have a rail that is a standard rail, not like the proprietary rail on the OEM Glock frames. So let's take a look at this. So we have a magazine here that is empty. I just want to show you guys how this is a OEM magazine. I color filled it so you guys could see, and just show you how this seats into here. Okay, sits in there nice and flush. For the release, slides right out, no problems. Okay, You do have the oversized magazine release on here, and just want to give you guys a close-up of the internals here and how that magazine sits. Okay. Alright. So let's compare some of these frames. So I have another Timberwolf frame here. This is the first version. And let's go ahead and just take this slide off. This is a Gen 3 slide. Okay. So, see, Gen 3. And this is also a Lonewolf slide. This is an Alpha Wolf slide. I got it with the cutout for the RMR, and that was what I was using before I bought the Brownell slide with the front serrations and the RMR cut. So I swapped over my suppressor height sights from that Gen 3 over to the Gen 4 because this was going to be my primary gun. So while we're at it here, let's remove the slide from the Gen 4 OEM. So you can see there by the spring, this is the Gen 4. And I'm just going to take this light off for the purpose of this video. Okay. So let's take a look here at the difference of the Gen 4 and the Timberwolf. Okay, you can see that the dovetail comes out a little bit further on the second version of the Timberwolf frame. Aside from that, the internals are pretty similar. Okay, I can't notice any big differences. I'm not sure if you can, but everything looks pretty much the same with the internals of both of these. Okay, so that is let me get that out of the way. There's a view down through the magwell on both of these. We'll throw the other Timberwolf. This is the first version of the Timberwolf. We'll throw those three in there just so you guys can get an idea of the three side by side. Okay, again, no major differences. The version 1 dovetail seems to be a little bit longer than the version 2, which is longer than the OEM Glock frame. Okay, alright, let's flip these around. We'll take a look down through the magwell from the bottom. Okay, and starting from top to bottom, that's the top is the Gen 4 OEM frame, which I did work to. The middle is the Timberwolf version 2, and the bottom one is the Timberwolf version 1. Okay, so nothing crazy going on here. The biggest difference that you're going to see on the three of these is, as you can see, I removed the finger grooves off of my Gen 4 also. Alright, you can see the rails, the three different rails on the version 1 Timberwolf frame, the version 2 Timberwolf frame, and then the Gen 4 Glock OEM frame. Okay, an important thing to remember is that these frames, these are not polymer 80 frames. These are frames that are ready to go. They are serialized, so these do have to be shipped to an FFL if you are going to buy one of them. Okay, here in New York, that's the only option I have. We're not allowed to mess around with anything 80% to finish it yourself. They're not serialized, and we get into some big trouble here if we try to mess around with anything like that, so we have to go with things that are already complete and serialized. Okay, now let's take a look at the difference between the Gen 2, I keep saying Gen 2, I mean version 2 and the version 1 of the Timberwolf frames. So both of them have the undercut, both of them have an enhanced rail, even though the rails are slightly different. The first version had these little cutouts on the handle here, and it was a textured. I think it was similar to the texture on the version 2 in here. I didn't like it. I just sanded it off and stippled it. This one had finger grooves, like I mentioned earlier. The second version does not have it. They just have a texturing in there, which I like a lot better. And aside from that, I think they are mostly the same. They both have the undercuts under the trigger guard, and the internals on these are both Lonewolf. These are both Lonewolf internal part kits, so those are going to be the same. Now, let's put some slides onto this Timberwolf frame. So this is the version 2, and this is my Gen 4. This is my Gen 4 slide. You see, and I have the dust cover piece out. So that's this oval piece here, or half moon piece rather. Okay. Okay. So that's a Gen 4. Goes on perfectly, no problem. Okay. You could see, I don't know if you could see it on camera, but there is a little gap in between the frame and the slide. Okay. I have that gap on the OEM frame as well, no big deal. But this functions properly, the firearm is clear. So, pretty cool. Gen 4 fits. So let's pop this little dust cover piece in here. And I'm gonna try to get this guy in. All right, so that is in. I'll show you what that looks like installed. Okay, you can see that there's 2 little grooves there. That is to get something in there just to pry it out if you want to put a Gen 4 slide on. But this is sitting in here, and this is our Gen 3 slide, and we're gonna get this guy on here. All right, so this firearm is clear, and I'm gonna go ahead and point the muzzle at the camera just so you can see what that little insert does. So right around the bottom of the slide here, there's that little U shape, and that little dust cover insert is what fills the gap there on the Gen 3 slides. So if I were to take the slide off and pop out that little dust cover insert, okay, and I were to put that Gen 3 slide back on, okay, this is what you would have. Okay, you would have a gap going around that U-shaped spot right there. Okay, so with the Gen 4 slide, we don't need that piece. Okay, you can see that the slide is larger and it fills out that hole. So, alright, I thought that was pretty cool, that I can now use this frame for both slides if I wanted to switch the color of my frame for any reason. Okay? Alright, one of the other things I wanted to show you is how this frame fits into some of the holsters that I have. So, let's start out with the Gen 3 slide. I'm not going to put this dust cover insert in just for the interest of time, because I'm going to have to take it out again just to put the Gen 4 slide back on. Alright, so we got this guy. I think this guy's a Blackhawk inside the waistband holster. So you can see that this one fits, no problem. Okay, we'll set that one aside. Alright, this is a Blade Tech holster. Let's see. That one fits, no problem. Okay. And the reason that I think this is going to fit all of these holsters without a problem is because there's nothing extra added on to this frame. It's just stuff that's been slightly modified or removed, like the protruding piece in the front of the trigger guard. They just rounded it off, so there shouldn't be any retention problems, I wouldn't think. I have two Concealment Express holsters here. One is for a Glock and one is for not. I don't have them labeled. Let me see. Nope. Alright, so that's this one. Okay. So the Concealment Express fits. No problem. And I'm going to set this aside. This is for a different firearm. Okay. We have the Crossbreed Reckoning system. I have a review up on this as well. Okay, so this fits into there. No problem. Alright. And then I have a Tier 1 concealment. And this one is supposed to be used with the light. So let me just pop the light onto here. Okay, screw that down. Alright, so fits into your Tier 1 concealment. No problem. I have a Ragnarok. So this is from T-Rex Arms. I have the Safariland QLS system on here. So this one is also meant to be carried with the light. And this one fits no problem. The only other holster that I have is a Safariland holster. And that is on my belt for the range. I don't have it here with me, but I'm gonna bet to say that this fits in there, especially since the retention on it is on the ejection port, not on the trigger guard like some of these other ones. So so there you have it. The second version of the Timberwolf frame from Lonewolf, and the ability to swap out the Gen 3 for a Gen 4 slide. Okay. Again, this is the Brownell slide. And if you want to see, I do have an OEM Gen 4 slide. Let's just switch over the barrel really quick into it. Okay. So you see, this is my original Gen 4 Glock 19 slide. Okay, and that one fits on there, no problem. Okay. All right, guys, there you have it. That's the second version of the Timberwolf frame from Lonewolf. I hope I answered at least some of your questions. I hope you enjoyed the video. If there's anything I missed or didn't cover that you want to know about, just leave it in the comments below and I'll get back to you. If you're planning on purchasing one of these, I'll leave a link down below to my website where you could find a link over to the Lonewolf website. If you are going to purchase, we'd appreciate it if you could use our affiliate link. We get a small commission off of that, which funds us to be able to do additional videos. Videos like this, covers the cost of ammo, and things like that. So until next time, guys, get out there, keep shooting, be safe, and Happy New Year. We'll see you in the next video.